Mercedes has emerged as Red Bull's main threat in recent races, as Ferrari has endured two difficult weekends in the United States and Mexico. However, as it chases its first win of 2022, Mercedes thinks that things will return to being a three-way fight for the final two races, even though Red Bull still appears to have an edge. The German manufacturer has endured a tricky season with the W13, which suffered a lot early on from excessive bouncing. It took several months for Mercedes to understand the factors that were at play and implement car tweaks that have helped Lewis Hamilton and George Russell make progress over the second half of the campaign. Mercedes has made some amazing upgrades in its arsenal this year. Mercedes had every reason to feel a renewed sense of optimism about its potential in Formula One, after a raft of upgrades helped it shine in the British Grand Prix. Although it was helped in part by a smooth circuit, which reduced the occurrence of bouncing, the promise shown by the car changes has left it confident that it is now on the right development path with its car. So, let's take a look at what Mercedes brought to 2022 and what that tells us about where its focus is right now. Major updates 2022. While the list of new items noted in the automobile display was extensive, a change made to its front wing was not mentioned, so not much focus on it. It escaped attention largely because there were no new parts involved. The change is visually disarming. The dive plane, which has been moved down to a lower position on the end plate, is the same item. You can even see the scars on the wing where the dive plane once lived. This change might seem quite small, but its repositioning will result in the wing performing quite differently. For example, both the passage of the airflow and how the pressure builds across the surface affect their interaction with the other surfaces, such as Mercedes' unique flap and end plate interaction below. This is not only decisive in the performance of the front wing, but the ongoing effect the airflow's passage has downstream, with the wake generated by the front tire affected by the directional change. Front end. However, the upgrades made to the car's front end should not be downplayed either, as it's certainly significant when we consider how it will set up flow structures that will also be beneficial downstream. The changes are also unique to the Brackley-based squad, providing Mercedes is still somewhat swimming against the current with these new regulations, in its attempt to find a performance where others have not. This will be in lockstep with its decision to favor the zero-pod solution in some ways, but its rivals will undoubtedly look at this and see if there are aspects that might also help them unlock performance with their own solutions. Volume addition. To achieve Mercedes' goals, the volume has also been added to the side of the chassis around the suspension members. The suspension fairings also have fillet extensions added to them to match up with the changes. These updates will result in the local airflow being downwashed towards the floor and side pods, with the conrads on the side of the chassis also reprofiled and repositioned in order to maximize the new flow conditions that have been created. In order that these changes to be fully maximized, there will likely be future optimizations made. For now though, in order for the aerodynamic aims to be met with the various surfaces improved, both the bib wing and floor fences have also been modified as part of the overhaul. Floor design. Mercedes also conjured up yet another new design for the edge of its floor. At the center of the redesign remains the DNA of the existing solution, with the scythe-shaped edge wing section still forming part of the solution, albeit having been extended forward to feature the upturned extractor section. This section of the floor is extremely similar to the design employed by McLaren, albeit Mercedes has opted for what McLaren did originally, with only 3 strakes used to coerce the direction of the airflow as it's extracted out from the underfloor. McLaren now has 5. The edge of the Mercedes floor alongside the detached scythe-like section of the edge wing is now fully decked out with a metallic finish to help reduce any flexion that might occur, while a new, more robust stay has been supplanted in the middle of this section too. The stays used around the front extractor section also have a dual purpose, with their shape undoubtedly encouraging the production of vortices that will further enhance the performance of the floor's edge. The forwardmost section of the floor's edge has also been rolled up compared to the most recent specification of the floor, with more of the trailing portion of the floor fences being exposed than before. All these changes point to Mercedes having a much better idea of how it wants to channel the airflow around and underneath its car, and it is certainly being done in a different way compared to the start of the season. Upgraded frame. More recent changes also show that Mercedes' frame of reference in regard to the downforce generated versus the amount of drag it had on its car has missed its target during the early part of 2022. In recent races, it has been reducing that deficit, and for Silverstone, it redesigned the outer section of the rear wing in an effort to offset this further. The changes made for Silverstone revolve around the rolled tip section, with Mercedes flattening out the upper section, thus stretching the wingspan and altering how the tip vortex will form. Silverstone right below edge highlighted in yellow. Aerodynamics. Mercedes brought their final upgrade package of the season to the 2022 United States Grand Prix, with the updates leaving Lewis Hamilton feeling super grateful. Hamilton, who finished 3rd in FP1 and 8th in FP2, which was extended for drivers to carry out Pirelli's 2023 tire testing program, was all smiles. He said, "Everything went to plan, and firstly, I'm super grateful to everyone back in the factory for working so hard and bringing us an upgrade this weekend. It's been a tough year for everyone at the factory, and for them to continuously be pushing and keeping their heads out and pulling out these new pieces, I'm super grateful." After a difficult start to F1's new era of technical regulations, Mercedes had been steadily updating their W13 in a bid to get on terms with pace setters Red Bull and Ferrari, and achieve their stated target of scoring at least one victory before the end of the 2022 campaign. The last major upgrade features aerodynamic parts and weight-saving items, brought to Austin as the team switched focus onto learning for F1 2023 following a difficult and so far winless season. One of the major new components included in Mercedes' upgrade is a modified front wing design. It's our final step of aero development, and that'll hopefully give us a bit more performance. But importantly, with every step, we're learning more and more, and that learning we can carry into next year, Trackside Engineering Director Andrew Chauvelin said. George Russell said Mercedes is planning to use the remaining 4 races to test ahead of the next season, when the team hopes to mount a fight back against Red Bull and Ferrari. "I think we're in a position now. Obviously, the season has passed us and the championship was out of reach a long time ago, but we're trying to use these last remaining races as a chance to test some things and make sure that we have all of the information for the team back at the factory to work as hard as they can in the wind tunnel to give us a fighter next year." While Mercedes has caught up to Ferrari in the recent races in Mexico and the United States, all eyes are set on Brazil on who among the 3 will end the year on a high. Thank you for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We also appreciate your feedback, so don't hesitate to express your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. We'll be back with another amazing video soon. Peace out.